It's the Your Pet Detective Show with Ardina Stewart and Angel Nieves, live stream from New York.
Thanks for tuning in, folks. I'm full of energy tonight. I don't know about Angel. That's because we have a good show. We're getting good vibes getting good warm vibes from Puerto Rico. It's a little nippy, shall we say, here in the Bronx. It's like 39 degrees, and there's a nor'easter coming in tonight, but there's no nor'easter in Puerto Rico. And our guest tonight rescues cats, a lot like this one here. Hopefully she won't interrupt. Say hi, Buddha. And her name is Karla Colom. Angel has some video, and as soon as the video...
I just want to mention this. This is so important in Puerto Rico because it's over in El Morro in the Old San Juan. And these cats been there since the time of Spain was taking over Puerto Rico. And now the federal government wants to get rid of all these cats. So let her talk more about it. But I just want to throw that in. It is so important. They want to get rid of all the cats that's been there for centuries.
Buddha's saying no. Okay.
Okay.
Michael? Well, Angel said it a lot better than I did, because Angel has a history with Puerto Rico. This is one of those cases where it's the natural habitants versus the environment. I mean, it sounds like that the two should be linked, but Angel pointed out at the beginning, look, the cats have been there since since Puerto Rico was a colony of Spain, which is what, 300-400 years. And now all of a sudden, the Puerto Rican Park Association decides that they're going to get rid of the cats who were there before Puerto Rico was Puerto Rico. So, your group is called Save The Gato. And for people who don't speak Spanish, gato means cat. So it's about saving a cat. Not a cat, but bunches of cats. Karla, how many cats, in your estimate, are in that area?
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me today. So as Angel mentioned, this is really important to us because this is mainly what we do. Save The Gato was founded because of these specific cats. Like, we have cats all around Old San Juan, but the ones in Paseo Del Morro, those are specifically the reason we started this nonprofit. They were placed there, little historical fact, they were placed there by Doña Fela, very famous San Juan mayor that we had in the 50s and 60s, exactly, Felisa Rincón de Gautier. She lived right in front of the door of San Juan, which is the entrance of Paseo del Morro. And also, we have the exit of the original sewers of Old San Juan. And where there's a sewer, there are rats.
Yep.
And all these rats used to come out. We have restaurants and bars and homes, hotels. So you would see the rats running from side to side every morning. It was horrible. And so she decided, what if I bring cats to that area, which will prevent the rats from coming out? And it worked. It's a no-brainer. It worked. And then in the 70s, because it was such a small amount of cats, the quantity went down and the rats started coming out again. So they decided to put more cats. And it worked. And then cats just spread all around Paseo del Morro. but it was only grass and rocks. They had no trees, no shrubs, no nothing, and no pathway. The pathway was only like 20 years old this year. So when the pathway was built, National Park Services wanted to take the cats out, but you know, the city fought with it and tried to explain to them cats have always been a part of our culture and history, of the culture and history of Old San Juan. It's the first place they came in through. And there's legends and there's songs and there's sculptures and paintings of the cats throughout history, in specifically in Old San Juan, because we had soldiers and slaves and people who were lonely. And these cats, even though they were there for a reason, befriended these people and became companions and friends. And so not only you have what happened after the 50s and 60s because of the rats, but you also, if you look back, they also served another purpose way back when the colonization was going on by Spain. So yeah, they're very important to us there.
Actually, it came from Spain. They did a little digging. I love Puerto Rico. They came from Spain because they had rats in the ships.
Yeah.
And
They
then
brought
from
the rats.
there, they left it in Puerto Rico for good luck.
Yeah.
The cats were good luck.
Actually, they brought the rats in the ships like they did everywhere, because rats came from the Orient, and the same thing happened in Puerto Rico, and they were obligated to bring the cats. But furry, loving, cute. Who doesn't love a cat?
Right. Well, what would you say, Karla, is a rough estimate of the cat population there now?
Well, the entire Old San Juan, I am not sure, because we also have resident cats, cats that belong to residents, and they do cross to other homes and they go out. Some of the residents feel that these cats are protected.
Right.
So they feel comfortable to let them out, and which I don't think they should, but they do. So the center of Old San Juan, I don't know, maybe like counting the ones in Paseo del Morro, around 300, maybe 400 cats. The entire Old San Juan.
So would you say the cat for the cat population there? Would you say is roughly is under 1,000?
Yeah, less than 500.
Okay, yeah. I'm just trying to get an approximate figure.
And in Paseo del Morro, it's like less than 150. It's like 125, give or take.
Well, that's we're not talking about hordes of cats. Now, has there been an initiative on the part of the government to spay and neuter? Because on one hand, okay, so they don't want the cats there, but what have they done to contribute to population control?
Nothing. I have to tell you, and I'm going to have a shout out to the mayor of San Juan. He's new this term, and him and his wife are animal lovers. And they knew that there was a situation that needed to be addressed. But, if you don't have this, there's a lot of things you can't do.
Right.
So slowly and surely, they started by remodeling the center. Well, it used to be a kill shelter. It's not a kill shelter anymore. So I support them majorly. They're doing an amazing job educating the lower income communities. They are giving, free spay and neuter clinics, low cost vaccination, low cost spay and neutering for control colonies and TNR. They're big advocates of TNR. So yeah, it's a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's beginning with the municipality of San Juan.
Okay, so but it's a fairly new initiative. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
So it will take maybe how many generations of cats to be able to control the population, but at least they're starting now. They're making the effort. Now, I noticed that. Pardon me. The allergy season is starting, but there seems to be an effort to adopt cats out. So if someone sees a cat, let's say a tourist goes to Puerto Rico, and they see an adorable cat that they want to bring back, but they can't bring it back on the plane, you can fly that cat to whatever destination in the United States, correct?
Yes. We also, at the beginning, if somebody walks, because we have this all the time, we're a high tourism area.
Right.
So we do this all the time. We have people that walk in or walk by. Oh my God, people that stay there for 2 weeks and they run through Paseo del Morro every morning and somehow fall in love with this specific cat. So what we do is try to figure out the time frame. If the person's leaving a couple of days later, it gives us enough time to take them to the vet, get the certification, see that everything's in order, because all these cats are spayed, neuter, vaccinated. And we take them to the vet if we see something's wrong. We keep an eye on each one of them. They'll have names. So, and we know in the areas where they live. So it's easier for us to identify a cat and take them to the vet and get them ready because they're already spay, neuter, vaccinated. And the veterinarians that we have in Old San Juan work directly with us. So they already have the records and everything. So it's fairly easy. But if by chance they're leaving the next day or they're here on a cruise ship or something like that, we obviously they have to go through the whole evaluation process, because it's not like, okay, take the cat. No, we need to make sure that you're okay to adopt this cat. And then if you are given the green, the green flag to go, then we try to figure out the quickest and easiest way for you to get your new family member. So we also work with flight angels. And I think it's awesome. We have this blessing that since we're a high tourism area, we have people from all over the world walking in and out constantly. And sometimes people just walk in and say, hey, do you need a cat to go to so-and-so city? And we're like, yay! And we also, in the cages in our adoption center, we have like this acrylic thing that it's so cute that it says flight angel needed. And we write the name of the city that we're needed to. And yeah, it works out pretty cool.
Now, what is the fee? Let's say if somebody comes in from Wisconsin and they fall in love with a little kitten and they want to have it flown to Wisconsin from Puerto Rico. What is the cost of that?
So the adoption fee is $70, and the ticket, I think, I'm not pretty sure, but I think it's $120, $115, something like that. It's less than $150.
That's very reasonable. So you can have people listen up. You can actually have a kitten that's been vetted, spayed, neutered, and practically flown to your doorstep for under $200.
Yeah. And they're loved. They're loved. We have protocols that we follow in order to make these cats friendly and adoptable, because of course we want you to get the best. We want to make sure that this cat goes to a home and never leaves it, if you know what I mean. Yeah. That it's not abandoned or returned. So we give them a lot of love. I'm a certified cat behaviorist. We have the person who's in charge of adoptions. She's been in this business for over almost 20 years. She knows them by just looking at them. So we have a really nice team, and our volunteers are encouraged to, pet them and play with them and give them love. So yeah, they usually and they always fly in cabin with the flight angel, so it's great.
Now, is there a way that people can if somebody's listening now and they say, this would be a great place to adopt from, where can I see available cats or kittens?
Pet Finder. You can find us in Pet Finder.
Oh. So in other words, well, Angel and I are here in the Bronx. So if I say, oh, really, I want to, Save a Gato from Puerto Rico, I would then go to Pet Finder Puerto Rico?
No, petfinder.com. And then you would search cats from, it asks like for the area. And then you would write San Juan or Save a Gato, and they would straight to us.
Okay. So in other words, we would look for the cat specifically in San Juan.
Yeah, and we also we have a partnership with North Shore Animal League,
Yeah,
which is like an hour away from New York City.
I know them very
And
well.
they are
Vale.
amazing, and they take care of like the area where the cats are. It's like heaven, and the people that work there, the volunteers are great. So I always tell, if you cannot come or come here and fall in love or find the cat that you want, but you want to help us, you also have, if you're from New York, you also have that option of going there.
Wow.
Yeah. And they
Look at-
they they like not only cats, they have dogs from Puerto Rico too.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Los
the
Atos.
Angel wants to
Los
jump in.
Santos.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the videos and I've seen the people actually petting these cats and hugging them, and they're so clean. You know what I
Yes.
mean? I don't know it's the weather, but they're so clean. I mean, like over here, you see a stray cat, a white cat is like gray. Over there, they're like bright, white, like ivory. It's like
Well,
incredible.
do you see the proud mama in my face? Yes,
Yeah.
we take pride in taking care of them. See, our motto is that they're not in a home. They're not in a warm bed.
No.
So we need to give them the best and the most amazing care and quality of life that we can. And even though they're in the exterior, Paseo del Morro is surrounded by rocks. And these people have like a city under those rocks. And and it's super fun because when it's really sunny and it's noon and you get on the rocks and you look down, you can see them passing from one side to another, and it's they're okay. And after Maria, there was a big effort from independent rescuers and from other nonprofits to help us get as many cats as we could out. But I mean, the most feral and skittish ones were really hard to trap, and they were left there. And when we came back, they were there. I mean, they were super protected by the rocks.
But
Yeah,
you got 75 acres out there, right?
yeah,
For 200 cats.
yeah.
It's incredible.
Not anymore. We have less than 200, but yeah,
No, but I'm just saying, even 100, I mean, 75 acres. You
it's
know,
a it's a long trail, and I think it's 2.5 miles or almost 2 miles. I'm not sure, but I'm kind of positive is that. And we have 5 feeding stations, and in each station there's like a little colony. And depending on the station, the closeness between one and the other, some cats know that if there's no food here, I'm going to go to the next one. But they know where they live. You will always find the same cats in the same area. And we do head counts because they know the golf cart. Yeah, every day. And they know the golf carts. So they come out like, oh, mama's here. She's going to feed us. And, oh, it's the crazy ladies with the wet food. And it's awesome. I mean, I wish I could send you a video of us doing it. Sometimes they're hiding and the tourists are there. And then we come in and they start coming out from everywhere. And the tourists go crazy. They're like, oh my God, where did all these cats come from? We have the food. They know.
Well, what is the relationship now between your group and the National Parks Association? Is there just a kind of detente where they are going to leave you alone and not pursue their endeavor to get rid of the cats, or is that still up in the air?
Still up in the air.
Okay.
Still up in the air. They've always been very open to conversation. We have a assigned person in national parks who's always been very kind and very open to talk and find ways, and we care about him very much. And he's always try to help us look for a common ground. But it's like, and we understand this, this comes from above, the orders. And we've received emails from people from Delaware and Maryland and Pennsylvania that are going through the same situation. Recently acquired land that used to be farming, and they had farming cats, and now they want to exterminate the cats because now it belongs to park services. And but of course, there's one thing that you have to take under consideration. We're not a state. And there's laws that do not apply to us. And there are laws that we have that they have to respect. So how do you work around this and find a common ground where both parties come out successful? You know? And I do believe that honesty and transparency, which is something we don't find very often, should be the key. And sometimes we don't see it because we were the last ones to find out. We found out about this because there's a committee of residents, and they got the email, the letters before Save The Gato did. And that is really, I'm sorry, but that's really, mind-blowing, because you're talking about our cats, right? The ones we take care of, the ones we feed, the ones we have taken to the vet, spayed, neuter, vaccinated. And all of a sudden, you don't tell us first. It's like if I'm taking over your home and your neighbors find out first, then you.
Is there, look, for argument's sake, would your group accept another venue nearby in Puerto Rico to reestablish the cat colony?
If it existed, it doesn't exist. But if it did, of course we would.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that, I'm just kind of playing devil's advocate, where if the Parks Department, National Parks Commission came to you and said, okay, look, this is what we'll do. We're going to find you another plot of land to establish the cat colony if you promise to remove the cats from this territory. Would that be acceptable? Would that work?
Okay. Let me see how I put this.
Right.
We would do anything to save their lives. That's the first and foremost of anything. Right. It's their lives. They have names. They're loved. Even if they don't let you touch them, they come to us. It's like having a child who doesn't like to be touched. Right. It's okay. But I mean, they're used to people, and they're super cool. You've never see a cat. I've been there for almost 6 years, and you will never see a cat attack a person. They would run away. If you get close and they don't know you, they will like. And some of these cats, it has taken me 4-5 years to touch them. So their lives are very important to us. I can't even begin to explain to you. Most of us who are there got there because we were looking for something that would give us mental health and peace. I have anxiety, and these cats saved me. I used to get panic attacks. I don't even know what that is anymore. And it's my happy place, and I get emotional. And it's the happy place of most of our volunteers. And for whatever reason, most of us ended up there for the same reason, looking for a getaway place that we could feel safe and happy. And these cats provided it to us. So the least we could do is make sure that their lives are saved. But now comes the other side to answer your question. We would love that if it was possible, but it's not. And let me explain why. And it's, first of all, there's no place in Puerto Rico that we could put them. If somebody gives me their piece of land and says, I'm a cat lover here, and we have an empty house that you can, create, we would find a way. Trust me, we would find a way. But that doesn't happen. Puerto Rico is not very cat loving. Now it's beginning thanks to social media and all that, because cats are like the most watched and loved animal on social media, but in the internet. But the problem here is that cats in Puerto Rico were seen as, they were the devil and witchcraft because of the cultural beliefs of the Spaniards when they came at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then cats became a plague, and they were considered in the government. It was listed as a plague, not as a companion animal. So we're still trying to debate this that was written in the 1930s, I think it was. So, or 40, so I don't know, but it was almost 100 years ago. And we're still trying to change that. And even though the proof is there in your face, we still try to change it. So that's the first thing. Second of all, we take cats out for whatever reason. This cat, so like for example, I'm going to give you an example. We used to have a cat. Her name was Clarita. Clarita was an elder. She was very young when Paseo Del Morro was built, or was born soon after, where we were still trying to trap and spay and neuter all the cats. And Clarita had skin issues. She was allergic to sea air. And she would like scratch and her skin would get super bad. So we took her out of Paseo. We brought her up to Save The Gato, which is beautiful. It's under a lot of trees. It's really nice. And we took her to the vet and we gave her the vetting and everything. And after 2 months of being in a cage, so she could get acclimated to casita, we call it casita, we released her. All of a sudden, Clarita stayed around for 2 or 3 days. And then we were like, where's Clarita? Because all these cats that are released around casita, they stay there. They live there. It's their home. She disappeared. A week later, I'm at Paseo del Morro and she walks up to me. She went back. And this happens all the time. I have a huge list of cats that throughout all these years, we have gotten out for whatever health reason. The cat got better. It got fixed. Something physical, usually not like chronic or something really bad, but like an ingrown toe, very infected, very badly infected insect bite, and then it had to be taken care of. But, you need to give them medication. So we keep them at casita. And then when we release them, they go home because that's their home. And most of these cats have even been born there.
Yeah, it's been genetically. Well, you figure it's almost in their DNA, where historically it's the environment. They are part of that environment because they have been there for generations. So
it's really sad. It's
when all these. The thing is, these cats. I understand you said your cat because it's really Puerto Rico cats, the community cats, and people go over there to see these cats. It's part of a tourist attraction, and they actually pet these cats. Some of them, not all of them. I mean, it's more than just seeing a cat walking down the alley. These cats actually belongs there.
Yeah,
they belong in El Morro. They do not belong anywhere else. And
we're in TripAdvisor.
And you got TNR and everything. You're doing everything the way it's supposed to be. And they do not want them no matter what you do. No matter what it is, they don't want it there. And she's gone.
That's an important point that you made, Angel, about the fact that they are a part of that area.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
No, but
sorry.
It's an important point that Angel makes because those cats are indigenous to that area. They're a part of the area, and the people, tourists, come to see these cats, which is kind of amazing that that isn't part of the tourist package, where tour groups would advertise, come here, and the cats are featured. If anything, it's a big plus for Puerto Rico for the tourist attraction, because if they're being built, if that place is being built as a site to see these incredible cats, there are people that will come just for that reason to see these cats. And if you're going to get rid of that attraction, then you're not only getting rid of the cats, but you're getting rid of revenue for Puerto Rico.
We had a meeting with them. This exploded in the summer of 2022, August, I think. And I think it was either September, I think it was late September. No, this exploded in summer. And then we had a meeting, an open forum in August, if I'm not mistaken. And then we had a meeting with them face to face, just the ladies of Save The Gato, the administration, and them. And, I told them, I'm like, okay, first of all, we're in TripAdvisor. We're a touristic attraction. There's this guy who's super famous because he's a critic of cruise ships, and he has TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, but his most famous is TikTok and Instagram. So he travels the world in cruise ships, and he goes to the ports. So a part of covering the cruise ship per se, he talks about the ports, and he has one that went viral. That he comes out of the ship and he says, so I'm in San Juan. I've seen it like 35,000 times because I thought it was so moving. He said, I'm in San Juan. So when you get here, forget about the restaurants, forget about the historical sites, forget about the museum, go straight to the cats. There's nothing else, just go straight to the cats. And I don't even know why I don't cover cats more often. And I was like, so we started researching. And then we figured out, oh my God, we're in TripAdvisor. And the tourists started telling us, yes, you're in TripAdvisor. Listen, there's people that come from the ships, come out of the ships with treats they've brought from their homes. And they come out asking, where are the cats? And then the people from the ships, from the port are saying, oh, so you go here and you go there. We started leaving cards in the ports. We got people that tell us all the time, this is the highlight of my trip. Sitting here, feeding them. We have treats, we have wet food, and we give it to them. And sometimes the cats are sleeping, and they're like, oh, because there's not many cats around. And I'm like, give me a second. And I come back with wet food, and I just go, the power of the cat compels them. And I'm like, and they all come flying out of the trees and anywhere, and they go, their faces. People's faces. It's so beautiful. I mean, how an animal can do that to a human being. An animal that they don't know. Like, look at that tail. I'm talking to you, and I'm like, I just want to go through the TV, the camera and grab them.
That's Odina's tail.
Yeah, that's my cat. It's Buddha. Buddha's sitting here in my lap.
Mine is my grandson. Because I have two kids, and one of them has a dog and one of them has a cat. And I have my own two cats. And my grandson is like sitting behind me. He's laying there behind me because he's like, he's always with me. And he was a rescue from the beach in Puerto Rico, in Rio Grande. He was a 3-month-old kitten, and his name is Playero, which means beachgoer. And it was, and that's what I mean. It's, you have all these people who come here every single day. We have around 7 ships every Tuesday during winter season, which is high season. And we have around 7 ships. And I'm not talking about little ships. I'm talking about the huge Virgin, Norwegian Cruise Line, Celebrity Cruise Line, all these, enormous, because I see them going through right in front of me when they pass in the bay. And we have thousands of people one day walking around Old San Juan. So I have on Tuesdays, which is tomorrow, is one of my busiest days. And I have to go to Paseo del Morro earlier because the amount of people that stop to ask about the cats. And I have to make the same story over and over again, which I don't mind. And they always ask him, where are you visiting from? And there's people from all over the world. But everyone has the same reaction. Oh my God, oh my God, oh, it's just beautiful. And I start telling them the names. Oh, they have names? And I'm, of course they have names. You know, they're important to us. And it's amazing. If you guys ever come to Puerto Rico, I'll give you the tour myself. You're going to love them.
Well, thank you. We are. There's a lot to be said and more about this.
But there's one more thing. How are you and the government looking so far for these cats to stay there, or they're gonna eliminate them regardless? I mean, what's the story now? What's gonna happen?
Okay, so this is the federal government.
Yes.
So it has nothing to do with the Puerto Rican government. But of course, the Puerto Rican government can make their own pressure, if you know what I mean. Like Ardina was saying earlier, this is revenue. This is people who are not going to want to come here anymore. And Paseo del Morro is extremely boring without cats. If you go there at noon, that they're all hiding and sleeping, it's horrid. It's extremely hot and humid, and there's nothing to look at. Water, that's it, because you don't even have, it's super deep. You don't even have dolphins. Well, you do have dolphins sometimes, but it's at the entrance. You don't have anything else to look at. And it's just a big walk with a big wall, and that's it. And the same wall that you see at the beginning is the same wall you see at the end. So basically, Paseo del Morro is, the cats. People call it the Paseo de los Gatos, the Paseo of the cats. So the government of Puerto Rico, I think, should understand the importance of this for tourism. We have a really good relationship with the tourism department, and we have talked, and they understand this, but they should, get deep down and dirty helping us. The federal government, you know how that works. When they have something here, you can bring them all the information, you can bring them all the evidence of what we are stating, and they don't care. We think there's a bigger plan for Paseo del Morro, making maybe a passive park or something. They have chopped down trees, the only almond trees at the beginning of Paseo del Morro that they were beautiful and gave people shade. They chopped them down in the middle of July, the hottest month. We have explained to them the rat thing. They keep saying that the rats are there because of the cat's food. And I tell them, but before the cats were here and there were no feeding stations, there was no food, and there were rats. I got pictures and pictures of the dead rats. And I also got pictures of live rats. But when those trees were at the beginning of El Morro, there was a small colony of 15 cats, give or take there. They all had the names of the Chavo del Ocho characters. And we used to call that area the vicinity. And it was at the entrance. So all the rats that came out of the sewers, if they try to come into Paseo del Morro, they will meet these cats. And we will find them dead all the time. So when they chopped down the trees, those cats dissipated. They just moved away to other areas. And now I've seen rats all the way up to that area. The thing is that if they take the round corner, is the biggest station. There's around 50 cats, so they're not going to survive. But Park Services kept telling us that the rats were a result of the feeding stations. Second, this was 2.5 years ago. I think it was around COVID time. They put 5 hunting cameras in 5 different stations. We used to have 7 feeding stations. Now we have 5 because there are less cats. And they put hunting cameras. I found them. I was cleaning. I looked up and it was inside the bushes right in front of me. And I know what a hunting camera looks like. So I took pictures. We Googled it. Hunting cameras, infrared. So they started saying that there were more than 200 cats because of the amount of cats that went to eat at that station. And they're telling me this, and this is my face. So you don't know anything about cats, do you? So you know that if you have free food, a cat may go eat 6, 7, 8 times the same day. So we have around 40 to 50 black cats. How do you know it's not the same cat going to eat? And then they said, no, because we counted, I don't know how many black cats, I don't know how many tuxedo cats, and they don't even know the names of how it's called, the coloring, but they told you like black and white. I swear this was my face. Because I couldn't, are you hearing yourself? Really, you did no research on a cat behavior before doing this, did you? No. Mm-mm. So I get really worked up when it comes to that, because the things they're saying, it's like, oh, disease. They can spread disease to the tourists and to the visitors. And I'm like, I work with them with no gloves, bare hands. I clean their drinking bowls and their feeders. When the rain falls, the feeders get wet, the food gets rotten, and it falls on me. And there's cockroaches this big, and there's rats, and there's spiders, and all sorts of insects. And I have never, ever gotten anything as closer to a rash. Nothing. I've never been bitten by a cat, never been scratched. These cats are so used to seeing people, it's like, just don't touch me, but yeah. And if you get close, they leave. So all the things that are saying, we clean their poop, every day. And all of a sudden they're saying, no, because you can get toxoplasmosis. And I started laughing. I was like, no, you're not saying that. So you're going to pick up the cat's poop and eat it, because that's the only way you can get that sickness. Are you going to eat it? And they're like, if a cat has that disease, the only way you can get that parasite is by eating its poop. And I don't think anybody in their right mind is going to do that. No. So,
okay, so we're wanting to, and with that, before we close out, I just like, Angel, can you put the graphic up again of the group, so this way people have contact information?
Well, I want them to buy the calendar. There's a calendar.
Yay! This calendar is great. It's very dear to us. It was put together by one of our most hardworking volunteers. Her name is Wanda. She is amazing. And she did this with, oh my God, all her heart. And it came out amazingly because it was a collection of photos from the volunteers, not from a professional like we used to do it every year. So we wanted to do something different. And, she said, listen, what about this, and that? And then the person in charge of the calendar every year said, okay, go ahead, do it. And it came out amazingly beautiful. And it's very dear to us because of that.
That's fantastic. Angel, you get the last word.
And we want to help, donate, adopt the cats, and fight their cause to keep the cats there. This is their email, Save The Gato at
Yes.
gmail.com, or you could
Yes.
DM me, whatever DM means. And then also, this is the website, savethegato.com. And I like this. No se meta con los gatitos. Don't mess with the cats.
And we're very active in Instagram. Like super, we got around more than 10 to 15 to 20 stories daily. Our vice president is the one that handles the social media, and she's very, very active. And if you ever go to San Juan and you take pictures of our cats, tag us, we'll share it.
Bueno,
So-
que siga la lucha.
Siga la
Yes.
lucha. Yes.
We're not gonna give up. Don't worry. We may be quiet, but we're doing our things because we want to do them, as I told you, honestly and transparently.
Well,
And
I'm not going to sit quiet. And the thing is, I want the government, federal government, to listen. This is for the people. You want tourist attraction? You got it. These cats been there for hundreds of years, and there's no reason for you to take them out now because of whatever excuse you give, which is BS to me. And all animal activists out there, especially celebrities, you know who you are. Go to Puerto Rico, look for her. Go to the Paseo Del Morro and help out. Let the government know that the whole world, not only one people, the whole world wants this to stay there. Okay? And people, please, I want you to subscribe to our channel. Listen to more shows that we have. That's very, very important around the globe. And anyway, and please, people, spay and neuter your cats. Oh my God, spay and neuter your pets. Spay and neuter your pets,
all
and
of
do you
them.
know where your pets are?